Is anyone getting some deja vu again? I feel like at this point, it's not even surprising anymore because this is probably like my fourth video where I talk about buying Prismatic Evolutions. I've made, I think, one or two videos talking about buying Prismatic Evolutions, Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes. I believe this is my second video making, talking about normal Prismatic Evolutions, Elite Trainer boxes. So once again, the cycle continues. I'll keep talking about Prismatic Evolutions, but seriously, once again, I'm emphasizing the point here, showing you guys I'm spending thousands of dollars more buying Prismatic Evolutions. You know, I know at this point it's like a meme on my channel, how much I talk about this set. But seriously, I think some people keep needing to hear this, and hopefully it reaches new people so you don't make a mistake and not buy anything. So once again, I'm going to preface this whole thing by saying, for me, it honestly does not affect me if you buy Prismatic Evolutions or not. I'm just trying to give some help, some honest truth, and some, in my opinion, you know, somewhat good investing advice, right? For you guys out there, especially if you're new, you're hearing all these people say certain things about Prismatic Evolutions. Now, I feel like we have a lot more data backing up the argument that you should probably be buying Prismatic Evolutions Elite Trainer boxes probably pretty soon. I wouldn't wait that much longer because guess what? Prices for Prismatic Evolutions Elite Trainer boxes, what are happening to them? I want to talk about that here today. So let's get on to this. So I will be talking about how much I paid for each ETB like I do in every video. That'll be later, but I don't want to just talk about, guys, we have now had some major restocks of this product, okay? We've had the Costco drops, and then also with the Costco drops, local game stores I believe also got Elite Trainer boxes, and that was a pretty big drop, right? Prices dropped from $115 down to $95. It stayed at $95 for a few days, quickly went back up towards $110, but then when it went back up to $110, it kind of stayed there for a tiny bit. But what happened shortly after that? Sam's Club, right? We recently got the Sam's Club drop, what, a little bit over a week ago at this point, and that drop was might have been a little bit bigger, right? Apparently 120,000 units with the ETB and the Pokeball. The Costco drop was the Elite Trainer box with the booster bundle. And on this drop, I had previously, before we knew anything about numbers, and or I guess when we figured out with, you know, how many, you know, were going to be produced, I said maybe this might go down to where Costco numbers were at $95, maybe 90, because it was such a large amount. I'm like, 120,000 units. I didn't think it was that big. So I'm like, okay, maybe it will go down back where Costco was, maybe a little bit lower. And even at that price point, I'm buying more. I told you guys, I mean, if it goes down and I find a good deal near me, I'm going to buy even more. And I was telling you guys, please take advantage of these restocks. I always talk about it. Take advantage of these restocks, especially with ETBs. Now, I know I've talked about this so much, but I keep needing to say it because I feel like some people still don't understand this. Prismatic Evolutions, will it get reprinted in the future? 100%. It's gonna, products, we just saw Sam's Club is coming out with another one. What is it? It's like a Lucario Tyranitar premium collection box. It's basically the same thing as the Sea and Sky box. I mean, they're gonna release new products. They're gonna come out with new products and reprint them, right? Like the figure collection is still coming out. I bet you they're gonna reprint other products, right? But guess what? Reprint does not equal ETB. That is something a lot of people do not understand. Reprint, I'm gonna repeat it again, reprint does not equal ETB. People have this thing in their mind that, oh, reprint means they're gonna reprint everything. They're gonna reprint ETBs, all these different products. I'm just gonna wait, right? Guess what? Pokemon will reprint products 100%. They've done it so much with 151, but guess what? That doesn't mean they're reprinting the ETB. And guys, you see what products I've been buying. Regular ETBs, PC ETBs. There's a reason for that, right? Because Pokemon, from recent history in Scarlet and Violet, using recent data, they are not reprinting ETBs. I mean, look at the data here. Yes, there's still people going back to Sword and Shield era comparing those things, right? But you got to use the most recent data because the market has changed drastically, and it seems like Pokemon's strategy has also changed drastically. You can't be using data that's 3 or 4 years old. It's not relevant, right? So you look at Scarlet and Violet, 151. What products have been reprinted? ETBs? Have ETBs been reprinting? Pokemon has had this whole time, right? 151 ETBs have been over MSRP for about a year now. They've had this whole time to reprint ETBs, okay? Tell me why they haven't reprinted 151 ETBs, but in the meantime, they have reprinted Blooming Waters. They have reprinted poster collections, Alakazam boxes, Zapdos boxes, those things, right? Collection boxes, booster bundles, right? What other products? They came out with like mini tins and stuff. You guys get the point. They haven't reprinted ETBs, but along the way, they have reprinted other products. So you can see what I'm trying to say here is that Pokemon does reprint stuff 100%, but it doesn't mean they're reprinting the ETBs. If they reprinted 151 ETBs just as heavily as they did with booster bundles and all these other products, I probably wouldn't as heavily advise buying at this price point, okay? But history doesn't show that. If 151, they printed a lot of ETBs into the ground, like I said, I probably wouldn't advise buying at this price point. But they didn't do that. Another example, Paldean Fates. We got Paldean Fates booster bundles reprinted, right? But what did they not reprint? Elite Trainer boxes. Can't you see a pattern here? Shrouded Fable. I honestly don't remember if they reprinted any Shrouded Fable. Is it even worth talking about that set? I don't really think so. It's not even comparable, right? But I know they didn't reprint ETBs because they're in what, like $70, $80 now? So you guys can see what I'm trying to get at here. ETBs, yes, they're just normal ETBs. If you want to be safer, buy the PC ETBs. I talk about it too. If you don't want to have that risk or whatever you want to call it, buying normal ETBs, buy PC ETBs. They've already gotten restocked twice. They're starting to go up. You should probably be trying to buy them maybe locally. There's still some deals around. Those are the ones I'd be going for if you're still, trying to be cautious with the normal ETBs. But if you are a heavy believer using recent data, like I am, right, with previous Scarlet and Violet sets, I heavily believe these ETBs will not be reprinted into the absolute ground. Will they maybe reprint some? Possibly. It's possible, right? But to the point where they get to MSRP, no, I don't think it's possible. And like I said, we have so much recent data literally pointing that that's probably not going to happen because look at how many big restocks we've gotten in a short span of time. The Costco drop, the Sam's Club drop, they happened within like a month of each other. 80,000 something units in Costco, that's like 80,000 ETBs, plus the 120,000 Sam's Club ones, right? That's like 200,000 ETBs, guys. Where did the prices drop? $95 for Costco. On this drop, Sam's Club, what happened to the ETBs? They dropped to $100. You saw the sales volume spike up. What are they at right now? As of recording this, they're at 112. I'm telling you guys, if you're listening to these people saying printing into the ground, you want to say printing to the ground, 151, if that was printed to the ground, prices did absolutely nothing, right? Prismatic, will it be printed to the ground? I could say that. I think it's possible they print just as much as 151, or maybe a little bit more. Very possible. But like I said, it doesn't mean they're reprinting the ETBs. I think Pokemon, they'll probably reprint, maybe they'll reprint booster bundles more, poster collections, maybe tech stickers, or any of those like smaller products. Poster, like collection boxes, those sorts of things. The one thing I will say, a caveat, I don't think they're gonna reprint binders because they didn't do that with 151. And binders, they're heavy. The box is heavy. I don't think those are gonna probably get reprinted as heavily or even at all. But everything else, I feel like they are gonna reprint. I think it's very possible. They reprinted the surprise boxes, right? And I just think that's what Pokemon's doing right now. They're going towards other products to reprint. I don't know why. It could be maybe, I don't know, they have better margins. Maybe they sell better. I don't know, right? I know at this point, it seems like any product will sell, right? I don't know what the reasoning is, but they're not reprinting ETBs. Whatever the case is, I'm guessing a big portion has to do with ETBs. Think about it. MSRP for this is like $50. But look how big the product is. You guys know about shipping costs and stuff? It's going to be pretty expensive, and there's 9 packs versus like a booster bundle, right? A booster bundle, booster bundles, 6 packs, small, compact. Seems like that's the product they usually go for, but they also reprint posters. Whatever the reason is, they're not reprinting ETBs, right? And that's what I'm trying to, explain here. And hopefully you guys are understanding this. I mean, go to any Scarlet and Violet set, especially set. Look at the ETB price. They're all pretty expensive. 151 is at $300. Paldean Fates is at around $200. These are sitting now at like around 110, 112. And now, if you watch all the way to the end of this video, you guys now are going to find out how much I paid for these. So, previously, you guys know I paid about $85 for Prismatic Evolutions ETBs, but it is unfortunate, right? Prices are starting to go back up. So, finding $85 ETBs is like near impossible anymore, okay? Trust me, I look pretty much every single day to try to find deals. It's very hard to do. It's like I said, it's basically impossible. Nobody out there is listening for $85 because guess what? All the people that were flipping them, whatever, finding them from Restocks, they're starting to go away, right? All the Restocks are getting bought out and prices are now 110. Getting them at $85, you're getting like $30 under market. Very hard to do. So to pay a bit more, right? But not that much more, still under market. I paid $95 for each ETB. Did I get scammed? You can say that, right? I got scammed $95, but at the end of the day, for me, as long as I'm buying, and I told you guys, I want to kind of buy under $100. That's sort of my thing now, because my cost is under $100 for all my ETBs. Even though some people still want to spread a rumor that I spent $150 for an ETB. I've never bought a regular PC, or not regular Elite Trainer box. Not, why was I saying PC ETB? I've never bought a normal PC, or why do I keep saying that? I've never bought a regular ETB for over $110. I think I bought a couple, like I said, for 105 around there, but I've never spent $150 for some normal ETB. I've never done that. I don't know where people get this idea that I've done that. It never happened. I never even talked about it. I never recommended buying them at 150. So I don't know what people talk about there, but I bought them for $95 each. My cost, like I said, I'll reiterate, is still under $100. So no, I did not lose all of my money. Did not buy them at 150. None of that stuff happened. It's all rumors. I don't know who spread them, but yeah. So at this point, I think you guys understand where my stance is. From these recent restocks, we have so much data, they're not going to MSRP. And I think, and this is my theory, right, based on previous history, looking at 151, they got dropped. ETBs got dropped at Costco. You guys remember that, right, with Crown Zenith ETBs? What happened after that drop? I don't know if 151 ETBs ever showed up at Sam's Club, to be honest. I don't remember, but I remember seeing 151 ETBs at Costco. What happened after that? Pokemon, did they reprint ETBs after that moment? No, they didn't. And that's a theory that I have, that possibly these drops we're getting at these wholesale stores. This might be it. I feel like it's possible. Like I said, maybe they do reprint it, but I feel like with all these other products that are coming out with Prismatic Evolutions, like the figure collection, the other collection box that they're coming out with at Sam's Club, that's going to be released at like the end of August or something. I feel like this could possibly be it, guys. I'm not saying 100%. Don't say that, oh, he said that they're never going to get reprinted. They did. Not 100%. But looking at, recent history and what's happened at 151, this might be it. And I think buying ETBs, if you guys have the opportunity to buy these at under $100, you don't think when this goes out of print, like I think it would be April 2027, whatever the rotation thing is. I don't play competitive, but I do know next year, April, like I think, is it 151 and backwards they go out of rotation? Something like that, right? So it's like the year after that where Prismatic Evolutions, I think, goes out of print or out of rotation, which technically out of print, right? So I just want to make this video to once again talk about this, show you guys I'm buying more, finding them at larger quantities. $95, I think, it's a pretty good deal. And obviously buying in person through Facebook Marketplace, you're saving on taxes and stuff. You were to buy online for like 110 or whatever, 115, you're coming out buying them for like 120, even at 120. If you don't have anyone near you, maybe you live in the middle of nowhere, I don't know, right? Even if you're buying them at 120, okay, after taxes, if you're going to hold them and you're not going to try to do some short-term play, if you're going to hold them for 2 years plus, $120 is still a good buy. But for me, luckily, I'm able to find them near me at a discounted price, buying in larger quantities, and yeah, buying them again, just showing you guys. So I feel like at this point, I'm the only one even talking about buying Prismatic Evolutions ETBs and showing that I'm actually buying them, because I don't know, I just don't see anybody out there saying you should be buying Prismatic Evolutions ETBs at under $100. I'm the only one sitting here repeating it 24/7, right? And then there's the other crowd, MSRP. It's still be reprinted for another year and a half. It's like, yeah, you said this. You could have said the same thing with 151. Oh, ETBs, they still have another year and a half of being reprinted when they went over MSRP like a year ago, and now they're $300. Guys, honestly, it doesn't matter what you do. I'm just trying to help you guys and hopefully clear the delusion some people are spreading. If you hold on to these and you're buying them for around $100 plus or minus $20, whatever, right? If you're holding on to them after they go out of print, you're going to do it absolutely fine. And recent history just doesn't show these being reprinted to the ground, and that's what I'm basing my decisions off of, right? I'm not going back to Sword and Shield. I'm not talking about that era and comparing reprints and stuff to that era. Things were very different. The market was very different. Everything was different. So that's why I'm doing this. And I've talked about it. You know, I missed out on 151 ETBs. I don't have a single regular ETB. I didn't buy them at $50. That was my biggest mistake, right? And for Prismatic Evolutions, this is some of a comparable set in my opinion with popularity, and it's obviously a lot more expensive. I'm not making that mistake. I'm going heavy into Prismatic ETBs. You guys see it. I'm literally showing you guys that I'm doing it, and hopefully you guys are too, taking advantage of these restocks, because once all the supply from the Samsung thing clears out, because maybe the more supply will enter the market in the next week or two, and they'll trickle in. If my theory is correct, right, with them possibly not reprinting ETBs anymore, and they reprint other products, these in the next year are going to skyrocket. But hey, maybe they reprint ETBs in the ground and this is the anomaly, but from recent history, I just don't see it happening. So that's all I want to say in this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know down in the comments below and like the video if you guys have been buying Prismatic ETBs at under $100, because guess what? I've been doing it while seemingly a lot of people still think they're going to MSRP. So that's all for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.